Hello and welcome to another round of racing in the Degenerate Race League. We are here for Season 6, and let's have a look at where we've been and where we are tonight. We started the season off in Suzuka. We then went to Valencia for round 2. Round 3 was our first mystery track, which took us to Monza. In round 4, we had Bathurst. And then in round 5, we had a wet and dark Watkins Glen. Last week was round 6, our second mystery track, which took us to Donington Park. And tonight we are at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. And then next week will be our season finale, wrapping things up at Silverstone. Well, let's have a quick look at the standings after last week. Taking a look at our pro category, Cooper Atherton still leads the way with 216 points over Diego Donarte with 205. Darren Wicks holding on to that third place spot, tied with his teammate Dean Stefani at 175 points. Over in Pro-Am, Albert Guinea still leading the way with 238 points. Artur Hermani with a victory last week, moving up to 227 points, and Vladislav Maverick with 221 points hanging on to third place. Over in our AM category, after penalties were all done and dusted, Tyler Morgan takes another win, even though not earned on track. We'll get to that a little bit here in a bit. Tyler leading the way with 238 points over Jay Pesa with 223, and Dan DeLatour jumps John Malott for third place, taking 190 points. As always, a very big thank you to our Patreon members. These members help support the Degenerate Race League so we can continue to offer the racing that we do week in and week out. These wonderful people you see on your screen are those wonderful members. You can always support us by finding the channel in our server. There's Patreon information. You can do one-time donation. You can do monthly. Or maybe you can even just help us out by subscribing to us here on Twitch. Well, let's kick it over to the racetrack. Drivers have a little under 10 minutes left in practice. We are at the very early morning times of the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit this week. And last week was a good one, and we'll get into some of those details here. My name is Morgan Dino. Bear with me, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold this week. Sam Bozak is joining me, but as always, he is late to the booth. So once Sam gets here, we will have his wonderful color commentary to go alongside what is soon to be my dying voice. I took some cold medicine. We're going to try to make it through. So having a look at what's going on so far in practice, Denarte, probably to no surprise, has a half-second gap to Darren Wicks over P2 and Dean Stefani in P3. Track conditions did start as fast. I'm not sure if they have kicked over to optimum yet, just due to time of day. So expect maybe lap times to continue to drop, especially as we head into qualification and then race time. As I finish yapping away, I see my wonderful colleague Sam Bozak finally decided to get off his butt and join the broadcast. Sam, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Sorry for showing up a little late. I was attending to some home duties, so we are now here and we're ready for some action. We missed last week, unfortunately. We had to leave you hanging, but sometimes that's just the way she rolls. So we're back this week, and hopefully we can fill in for your dying self.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's been it's been a summer of sickness. And I know around my household, I know part of why you weren't here last week as well, Sam, not feeling well. So summer bugs going around up here in the Northwest, but we'll try to get through this one and bring you guys some fun action. I will say, Sam, I don't know if you had a chance to read them yet, but our driver roasts for this week are pretty top tier. I'm looking forward to when we get to those.
Yeah, I always look forward to the driver roast, and I think most people do, so it's always a good time.
Thank you, Sam Bozak, for subscribing to the DRL on Twitch. 13 months in a row. Holy smokes. You are a gem.
Yeah, that's crazy. It feels like yesterday was the first month I subscribed. Time flies when you're not having fun.
Well, last week, Sam, you weren't here, but there was our mystery round at Donington. Turned out to be, as you would expect from a race with not a lot of practice for anyone, a little messy. Stewards were busy, quite a few penalties handed out, and quite interestingly shook up some of the final results a little bit. So we'll start with our AM class. Tyler Morgan actually finishing third on track. Ended up with the victory after penalties came down to Jay and Dawn. So that gives Tyler a pretty healthy lead heading into these final two races. Tyler, being the numbers guy that he is, has already informed me that he could potentially win it tonight. I think a victory and potentially some lower place finishing for Jay is required, but looks like Tyler has the opportunity to secure the AM championship.
Yeah, well, according to the times, it looks like he's going to be starting possibly in AM P1 tonight. So maybe we will see him take the overall AM championship. But obviously, like you said, that depends on Mr. Peja. How do you pronounce Jay's last name? Is it Pesa? Peja.
Pesa? I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Jay. On that note, though, I actually don't see Jay in the server yet, so really hope
He
Jay
was
shows
just
up to
in,
make this
and then also
this battle
Marcus left.
interesting. Oh, did he? Okay. Didn't see him, so. But yeah, so anyways, really good battle there in AM going on. Another interesting change there for the overall was John Malott took a drop round last week, decided not to race, which has actually promoted Dan to P3 in the overall. So Dan jumping a couple spots there to secure third in that championship. And so last week also for our Pro-Am drivers, Archer's had a really great race. He kind of more or less drove away with it in the Pro-Am category. I think he ended up winning his class by a good 18 seconds. Vladislav unfortunately caught up early on with Jay actually on lap 1. Got a little bump in the rump and sent for a spin through the grass, which put him out of contention for that race more or less, but still battled his way back and managed to get third overall for the Pro-Ams despite being spun. So a pretty good recovery drive, being knocked to the back of the pack and making his way back up to third. All right, Sam, so we are at the Nurburgring this week. This season we're not doing the full Nurburgring circuit, just the Grand Prix circuit. Man, it's been a while. I think since we've last raced here, you and I may have been in a Mercedes back then, maybe a Mustang.
Yeah, that like you're talking about when we only did the GP.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember I thought we only did the full circuit, but if we did do this, actually, you know what? I'm quite sure it was the GP. Yeah, you know. I think it was a Mercedes.
Of course, here I am trying to scramble for so our wonderful obviously Archers, our current Pro-Am leader is an absolute stats junkie, and he's got this super cool stats spreadsheet, and of course I can't find it right now, but I was going to bring that up because that information would be on there, of course. Archers also does our really cool track map graphics for our attendance posts, so Archer's into the numbers as well, likes his statistics. But yes, it was many seasons ago that we raced here. I'm trying to figure it out when. I think it was season 1 or season 2 maybe.
Who knows? We've been through so many cars. Cooper got this on lock. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is Tyler going to choke? I don't know. Maybe commentator curse? Tyler, last place. T-boned. Corner 3.
DNF?
Maybe
he won't DNF. He'll finish this race for points regardless. We know that. But yeah, hello if you're watching with us on stream. It's always good to have our fans along for the ride. Cooper's got his crew in here, I'm sure.
Cooper bots.
We got about 40 seconds left in practice, and then on to qualification. Sun maybe starting to come up. Still looks pretty dark out there. I think it'll be sunrise at least for race. 6 a.m. start time on track, of course, for the race. Quali will go at 4 a.m., so they're going to start quali in the dark and probably end it in the dark. Sam, any predictions for quali? Who do you expect to see where?
Well, obviously, I mean, like every other race this season, it's looking like Denarte is going to be taking P1 in the pro category, and most likely overall, at least in quali. Obviously, we can see anything can happen in the race or some sort of shakeup. There's been lots of different shuffles in the beginning, up at the front. So we'll see what happens there. For Pro-Am, I mean, obviously right now it's looking like Vlad is gonna be up ahead, but where is Arthur? Is he not
So
in the lobby yet? I don't know if he's going to be joining.
Arturs is away for the last 2 races, so he's more or less given away the championship because he is away traveling. So he was not able to pack up his sim rig in a bag, which I think probably could have been done if he tried harder. But yeah, so Arturs more or less has taken himself out of this. So I think the battle's going to come down to Vlad and Gania.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be that changes things then. Obviously, right now, Gania is not too close to Maverick, but let's see if they can pick up the pace in quali and get a little bit tighter on the track. Kyle Hirsch in second right now for practice. Not bad.
Green light. Give it all you can.
Kyle's been providing us with awesome highlights in the Discord of all the races.
Yeah, big
Except,
thank you.
The last couple have been more crash montages.
Crash highlights. Yeah. Last week was definitely crash montage, which I always like seeing, especially when I'm not on track, because I'm not part of it. But shocking, Tyler Morgan first to bolt out of the pits. Being chased down by Vladislav Maverick. He's maybe trying to get by. While these drivers are making their way on their out laps, a few things to keep an eye on for this race tonight. Turn 1 is always messy here. We got a really long run down the start-finish straight before you get to turn 1. The track also gets very wide and really invites you to go 3, sometimes even 4 wide, and into a very, very hard braking zone, and then more or less a hairpin for turn 1. So I would expect a little bit of chaos into turn 1, Sam, this week. Yeah, it's always that one. I know when we've done the full Nurburgring here, that one has been not a great corner. Usually somebody is going to get spun around.
Yeah, I mean, Nurburgring or Spa or Watkins or any other track, I think we can expect some serious turn 1, lap 1 incidents. But yeah, especially in this track, definitely going to be some lap 1 chaos. So especially with the championship getting close and some battles happening, I expect people to be a little bit more aggressive and possibly try and hold their own a little bit more. So hopefully that results in some good racing and not cars into the wall. But we'll see.
Yeah, and the other spot I think we'll be definitely keeping an eye on is that final chicane there, right at the end of the circuit there before the final corner. The curves there are quite violent, and if you're just slightly offline there, it's really easy to get spun around. So yeah, curious to see how drivers fare on this track. It's a pretty fun one. I always enjoy driving the Nürburgring, well, whether it's the full ring or the Grand Prix circuit. Should be some good races tonight.
Looking forward to it. Alright, looks like some people are going to be coming up to the almost end of their quali laps. Once again, Tyler Morgan is the very, very first to go out. I don't think there's been a race this season where he hasn't been first. So, always getting that first place pit stop.
He didn't quite get the first stall tonight, but he got the highest stall out of the AMs anyways, and obviously the Pro-Ams as well too. So looks like he got himself first on track as he rounds the final corner, named the Coca-Cola corner, I found out tonight. Makes his way to the start-finish line. and sets an initial time of 158.0. So lots of time to come down from there. I know from Tyler, what we saw in practice. Vladislav Maverick immediately does a 155.9. So a great time there for Vlad. I think that'll be a tough time to beat. My camera is broken because we've been stuck on Tyler the whole time.
Yeah, I guess someone must have been crank it up on Tyler Morgan.
Let's pop on board with Don Fossman and the Party
turn
Pickles.
it back down, but for right now, crank it up.
Crank it up with Tyler Morgan. Well, we already just had a crank it up with Tyler Morgan, so we can ignore that one.
I know that was.
It was you.
I meant to say Don Fossman.
Don Fossman. In the Party Pickle, that's just a black McLaren because he's too lazy to upload his livery. Even though we rip on him every week.
Maybe one day. For now, he's the Dark Knight.
Vladislav Maverick is on another good lap here.
He sure is. Would you be able to check your messages? I just want something's wrong on my end on the stream. Vlad improves 155.4. Fastest lap of the session so far with an 8/10 lead.
For anybody watching on stream, how's the volume tonight? I know last week and the week before the game audio volume was extremely loud and you could hardly hear my beautiful voice. If you're watching, let us know how volume is tonight. I adjusted game volume, but now my fear is that it's actually maybe too low. So let us know. Can you hear the cars go vroom?
Sounds pretty good to me.
All right.
That's the guy that didn't have to pit.
Thank you, Atherton.
Yeah.
Get bent,
You
Chris.
should be.
Oh my god.
Get bent, Chris.
Get Ben, Chris. I know Evan was saving up some channel points
Looks
to
like
use a
Vlad's
bunch of
coming
those tonight.
close up, he just came close up onto Tyler there and made an overtake.
Job done.
Just abandoned his
When-
lap.
When you're going fast and you want to get by, sometimes you got to make an overtake. We I don't know if Tyler let him by or if he overtook, but as long as he overtook cleanly, that's all that
Looked
matters.
like Tyler went off.
Ah,
Looked like Tyler slightly went off track, so I think he just kind of carried more speed and zoomed on by.
there you go. I was going to give Vlad. Might get two more get this chance plus one more to improve on his time. Take a look at car 26, Dan De La Torre for Shake and Bake. As he makes his way through the chicane and through the final corner. Dan is up over a second on his best lap so far, so we should see an improvement in time from him here. Dan crosses the line and puts in a 159.4, so it does improve, not quite enough to get Fossman. ride on board now with Albert, who's in this Pro-Am Championship fight, making his way into Dunlop Curve. Albert on a good lap so far. I am seeing green on the timing boards, which tells me he is up on his time. Albert going quick enough to potentially take away provisional pole from Maverick. See if he can hang on to it here through the final corner. As he makes his way around and heads to the start-finish line. And Ganea puts down a 55.2 to take provisional pole in Pro-Am. Just as the time runs out and all of our pro drivers start making their way on circuit. So a very exciting qualifying for our Pro-Am and AM drivers, keeping the championship races we're watching closely extra exciting. A couple more AM and Pro-Am drivers to take the checker flag. We've got Buggy Watt getting to the line now. And Damian Zawatsky also making his way to the line to finish qualification. No improvement for either of those drivers.
Looks like the pros are coming up onto Tyler as he continues his lap. The last one to squeak by. Will he improve and get the AM pole? Looks like what he didn't want to happen. Jay has taken that provisionally.
Did Tyler get to the line in time to start this lap?
I do not know. He is not. Not gonna
check
let
on
it
that
go,
one.
So
we'll have to check on that one. Yeah.
Computer review because could be some faults there, Mr. Morgan. So we will have to have a review. Right this time we will stay on bias.
He might have just made it. It would have been close because if he's coming up now, yeah, I think he would just okay.
Let's do the math.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah, he'd have been okay. He would have just got there. All right, Mr. Morgan, keeping an eye on you. Keeping an eye on you.
We are.
Pro drivers now just finishing their outlaps and making their way onto their first flying laps. Alex Hansen, newcomer to the grid last week, showing pretty incredible pace in the Bentley. Had a couple eventful trips last race, which I think saw him finish lower than what we think he's capable of. Curious to see how he finishes up tonight. Cooper Atherton in the 77 McLaren, hanging on to that championship victory by a thread. Couple races to go. He's going to have to see some strong finishes from Cooper in order to hang on to the overall. Denarte can certainly put that championship win in threat with a couple victories.
Who do you think? Obviously, most likely Denarte is going to be taking P1, but who do you think is going to be the followers from that?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I think we saw some really good times out of Stefani and Wicks. I would expect to see them be probably in the top 3 tonight. Cooper Atherton sets the bar with a 154.2. So kicking things off with a very good time. Track obviously rubbering in a little bit more from practice. As mentioned at the beginning of the stream, track did start on fast conditions. Probably have now bumped up to optimum, and the track should just continue to get quicker and quicker throughout qualification and race time. Cooper Atherton wasting no time to set a good time on that first lap. Got a good 9/10 gap back to Alex Hansen in P2.
McLaren's such a nice looking car, I think.
Yeah, the McLaren is a fun looking car. It's obviously the greatest manufacturer in the world, especially in F1. I'm not biased.
Whatever makes you sleep at night.
A Lando Norris or Oscar
And there's
Piastri
RD.
championship would. Yes. Dinarte, yes, as you say, Dinarte, a 153.4.
Did you mean to say Oscar Piastri?
Oscar Piastri?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's funny. Say that 10 times fast. Yeah, Dinarte there just kind of said see you later and maybe going on a Sunday drive.
Could be. Don Donovan in the 333. Hoping to set a better time. Bumps himself up to 11th. I know Don would be looking for a bit more than that.
Just squeaks by Spencer Braun by 5 thousandths.
Speaking of Spencer Braun, in the Skittle Barf number 7 Porsche. Spencer Braun making his way around the track on looks to be improving from previous lap, so potentially able to move up the leaderboard as he makes his way down to Dunlop Curve. Alex Hansen on a pretty big improvement this lap as he makes his way to the chicane. That Boatley just floats through it like nothing. Through the final corner.
Sure, just kind of cut straight through.
Crosses the line to go P3. Good lap from Alex. Darren Wicks makes his way to the final corner. Also looks to be improving. A driver I predicted to be up there in the top 3. See where this time puts him. He improves by half a second to go P7. So a bit more from Darren, I think, to come, based on what I've seen from him in practice.
Like Braun was also able to improve after the camera change there. He did finish his lap and make it up to P11. Will Don Donovan improve and take the spot back?
Still a bit to
What
go
is that
through
big
the lap.
pole on top of the roof?
It's a good question, Sam. He invalidates and takes a trip to the beach. Camera hops aboard the number 7 of Spencer Braun because he's going fast. Makes his way to the chicane. Let's see how he negotiates in the Porsche that is not a huge curb lover. Porsche will fight you if you try to
Looks like you make it for 1-2.
mount the
Squeak
curbs.
by.
Spencer improves up to P9 with that lap.
And if he has enough fuel, he'll get another.
Gav Cook rounds the last corner to finish his quali session. Gav looks to improve on this lap and will jump up to P12.
Four
Next to come
drivers left.
to the line is Denarte. Looks to be improving on his time even further. Puts in a 52.9. Oh my goodness. Almost a full second on Cooper in P2. Wild.
Let him cook. That
Let
guy's quick.
him cook. A couple more drivers still out on track that are able to finish their laps. Next car to cross the line will be Kyle Hirsch. Kyle currently sitting in P4. Just hoping he can... All he needs is a couple hundredths to jump Alex Hansen for P3. So curious to see what Kyle can do on this lap and if he can improve. As he makes his way through the final corner. Kyle does not improve and stays in
Close.
P4, so very close. Spencer Braun will be last to cross the line. Session has ended. Didn't get there in time or invalidated.
That is the grid.
That is our grid. Well, we've got 5 minutes until race time. We're going to get things ready here to do our track walk. It's a really cool camera pan down the grid. I like that. Let's just soak that
I like that.
in
I like what's
for
going
a
on.
second. Let's soak that in for a second.
A smaller grid walk, so we can afford to take in the scenery, the beautiful night lighting.
Yeah, not as many drivers tonight, just 22 on our grid. Few people absent this week.
This is how we have to do the grid walk. You've just got to start saying them as they show up on the screen.
Yeah. Well, it looks like sun's not quite up yet for a 6 a.m. race time, so I guess we are starting in the dark. Maybe we'll get some light by the end of the 45-minute race. But here we are, start of the grid. Let's do our driver walk. Starting in P1 is, no surprise to anybody, Diego Denarte in the number 14 Ford Mustang. P2, Cooper Atherton in the number 77 McLaren, driving for CrowdStrike Racing. Alex Hansen hangs on to P3 in the 390 Bentley, who is being chased down by this man. Kyle Hirsch in P4 couldn't quite get the job done to take that third spot, but will line up alongside him on the grid. P5 is Daniil Negatsev. Daniil driving the 33 Red Bull car. Dean Stefani for Greenlight Racing in the number 87, sitting in 6th place. Behind him is his teammate Darren Wicks in the number 46 Porsche with that super awesome Venom livery. Daniel Hirsch for RTC Racing sitting in P8 in the Mercedes-Benz AMG. Spencer Braun for Braun GP driving the number 7 Porsche sitting in P9. Albert Gania driving the number 98 Ford Mustang in P10. His championship rival Vladislav Maverick in P11 driving the number 74 Bentley. Gav Cook for Team Shake and Bake driving the number 69 in the Aston Martin. Don Donovan for Halftone Racing driving the 333 Ferrari, holding down P13. Russell Stanford for Cup of Tea RV, teammates with Vladislav Maverick, driving the number 20 Bentley in P14. In P15, we have our top qualifying AM driver, Tyler Morgan for Team DNF, missing his teammate Arturs for the remaining 2 rounds. Wes Romery driving the 444 for Halftone Racing in the Ferrari, holding down P16. Jay Pesa with JP with Samantha Tan Racing, driving the 135 McLaren, holding down P17. Damian Zawatsky for Gratis Racing, driving the number 18 in P18. Buggy Watt driving the 410 Nissan, driving for Zilla Backmarker in the Kong livery this week. Don Fossman with the Party Pickles, driving a black McLaren, again, too lazy to upload his livery. Dan Dillator holding down P21 in the Shake and Bake 49ers livery, driving the number 26 Aston Martin. And back from a long hiatus, look who it is. Josh Rodriguez, driving the number 93 Aston Martin. Josh is back, Sam.
Yeah, he is. Josh has gone on a real-life Mazda racing adventure, and that's where his time has been focused, so thankful that we have him back. I don't know what he's doing in the back of the grid. But
he hasn't been in the Sebring in a while, and
so
yeah, he messaged me. He said he hasn't been in Sebring in a while. Hasn't put much time in. Didn't want to affect anybody's race. Just showing up to hang out with the boys, and just wants to have a fun night. So good to have you back, J Rod.
I know.
And as the perfect timing, these drivers get on their way for their outlap.
Who will you be? I have my prediction that I'll say. Who is your commentator's curse on tonight? What incident are you predicting?
I'm gonna call an incident between Daniel and Spencer. I mean, those two always seem to qualify next to each other. It's been a while since they've killed one another, so I'm gonna call a Spencer and Daniel Hirsch incident.
Get bent, Chris. Oh my god, I can't believe that.
There you go. I'm thinking Vlad is going to get spicy on the beginning and send her straight into Guinea. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Evan redeems a get bent Chris.
Evan's here, and Evan's got channel points. Look out. Thanks for joining, Evan. Are you not entertained?
The Bentley. I've never really understood how people can do the right-hand drive. It throws me off so bad in the corners. I'm just so used to our North American way of life.
Yeah, I've driven it a few times in ACC. It doesn't take too long to get used to. handful of laps, and it actually comes pretty quick. But yeah, it's obviously the only one in the game that's different from the rest, so it definitely feels wrong. I would agree.
Evan, do you have Amazon Prime? Just curious. No reason as to why.
I think Evan is subscribed.
Is he? Maybe I can't razz him then. My Twitch is oh, looks
You
like
got
the
it.
drivers are lining up now. Is in pairs.
Yes, they're starting to grid up 2 by 2. Still a ways to go. I'm surprised the game made them grid up there. They still got the chicane to go, and then I guess around the last corner, as soon as they're out, then it's green, green, green. You'll know if it's not active, Evan, because you'll start getting ads.
Yeah. That's what reminded me.
You don't like ads? You got Prime? You can subscribe at no extra cost. Support the league and watch ad-free. Drivers make their way to the start-finish line. Off we go. Narte gets a good start. Cooper looks like he's got a good jump. Gonna not get alongside, but is gonna cover off Alex Hansen. Alex Hansen got a really good run there as we ride on board with Kyle Hirsch, who's getting a good seat. Whoa, Kyle with a big dive around the outside, hangs onto it. Whoa, is there some bumping and banging? Denarte gets away. Alex Hansen moves up to P2. Cooper Atherton shuffled down to P3. Darren Wick's trying to jump on this here. Kyle Hirsch managed to hang onto it, but has lost, looks like 2 spots now as he's shuffled down to 6th place. And the rest have gotten away seemingly not too bad. I don't see anything else in the backfield. This camera's keeping a close battle on this.
Made up.
I'm going crazy with leaderboards right now. I have no idea what's going on.
I was like, is that just me or? Oh, thank you, Sanchez, for subscribing for 11 months in a row. Look at that, almost 1 year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sanchez. If only your back was as strong as your subscription streak. Looks like Gav Cook's been shuffled down here.
Maverick, did my prediction come into play at all? Are there any incidents?
It looks like it sure did. Let's have a quick replay of what happened to the number 74. It was a race start. Vladislav looks like in the middle of a 4 wide. Everything looks okay through turn 1. Goes through turn 2, 3 wide. He's in the middle. Oh, and just punted. Not sure what happened there, but a little hit to the rear, and that took him to the back.
Which car was that with? I didn't see, but
didn't quite see.
My prediction was correct.
I think it might have been
So sorry about that, Vlad.
26. There was lots of bumping and banging here on the incident list, but most people seem to make it through turn 1 okay, so I think it was just a lot of door banging. Looks like we just had an issue between the 93 and 74. Well, welcome back, J-Rod. He's getting right in the mix again and bumping and banging with... That looks pretty minor. Interesting that was picked up as an incident. Gavin Cook on a recovery drive just about kills Tyler Morgan. Woo! And gets sent wide. I'm not sure who that was. the number 20 of Russell Stanford, I believe. Don Fossman with the Party Pickles. Just looking at the leaderboard, how things have shaken out since our first couple of laps. Denarte still leads the way. Alex Hansen moved up to P2 in that early turn 1 overtake. Cooper Atherton in P3. And in our Pro-Am class, Gania now takes the lead as Maverick was involved in that lap 1 incident. And in our AM class, Buggy Watt leads the way over Jay Pesa and then Tyler Morgan in third in that class. I think Tyler Morgan getting a little too giddy about his championship chances. Is sitting in the wrong position next to Jay Pesa. Oh, as we see a very close call again between...
Bridge shakeup.
Don Fossman with the Party Pickles being chased down by Rodriguez. Yeah. Vladislav Maverick now on a recovery drive again this week. Very unfortunate. It's 2 weeks in a row he's been shuffled out of his spot on the opening lap. As he try to make his way past, I believe that is Wes Romery in the 444. As you heard the man on screen, our pit window is now open. Reminder to those watching who may not know, we have a mandatory pit stop required in the DRL. Drivers are only required to take fuel, tires are optional, and they must do so in a 35-minute pit window that exists in the middle of our race. So drivers have until about 4 minutes remaining in the race to complete their pit stops. We have seen some very close calls on getting pit stops done, and we've even seen some races where drivers have not gotten pit stops done.
Vlad is trying to make up his places back, and he is on a mission. Looks like he's trying to really push as he keeps kind of extending into the grass, but managing to keep it under control, and it looks like he's going to be making a couple overtakes here.
Vlad getting a good run down the start-finish straight as he has a look down the inside into turn 1 on Jay Pesa. Hard on the brakes, got that inside line. Cuts it around, job done, great overtake by Vlad. Evan says, let's go Mad Vlad. Yeah, he probably a little hot under the helmet, being knocked down for a second week. Watching him slice and dice through traffic. Next on his list is Buggy Watt. Gives him a friendly little flashy. Once is okay, 2 is unsportsmanlike. Well, not a lot of other battles going on in the track. Drivers have kind of settled into a groove 4 laps into this race. We have a pretty tight pack here behind Vladislav. There's about 8 cars, all pretty close to each other. Basically our AMs and Pro-Ams bunched up. Vladislav's now got a lot of clear track up to the number 21 of Kyle Hirsch in P11. So you get a bit of breathing room to make up some time. As we see with the number 69 with a yellow flag. So a quick replay of what happened there. I think we had a little bit of a mix-up here in the backfield.
A little bit of an incident.
little bit of an incident. Gav Cook heads into the chicane. Oh, just was about to cream the back of Pesa and dives wide to get out of the way.
Yeah, that was quite the evasive maneuver to not cause any wreckage there. Unfortunately, he still suffered, but at least there's no damage. Just maybe a little bit of a tire cooking.
Yeah, he should have been in a trophy truck. Hey, trophy truck there. Hey, Sean. I can't talk. I'm so sick.
Trophy truck.
Trophy truck.
Yeah, no, definitely would have been definitely would have been okay in a trophy truck.
Holy smokes. Let's get to our first driver highlight of the night.
If it isn't Mike Honcho himself.
Roger that, Don Fossman. The Black Knight.
Okay. Our next roast lands on a DRL veteran, a fitness guru, a true friend of the league, and unfortunately a driver who got promoted too soon. It's Don. Please don't promote me again, Fossman.
Don won the AM class a few seasons back. Good for him. So we bumped him up to Pro-Am, where he promptly got slower. Like, what happened? Did he pull a hamstring in the paddock?
Don's basically Mr. CrossFit. He's a walking protein shake with a sim rig. The man can deadlift a car, but somehow can't keep one out of the gravel on lap 3.
And look, we respect the health grind, but Don's the guy who reads the ingredient lists like race notes. Probably avoids seed oils harder than he avoids the Apex at Kialami.
He's also part of the legendary Party Pickle racing crew. But if you looked at his car, you wouldn't know. No livery, nothing. Apparently he's too busy foam rolling to sync it with the server.
But beyond the performance drops and the missing pixels...
Oh, what a spin! Right on cue. Good job, Donnie.
But beyond the performance drop... Oh, you won't hear that. Absolutely perfect timing. Beyond the performance drops and the missing pixels, Don's one of the league's good guys. Always chill, always friendly, and never one to rage, even things go sideways, which is often, as you saw.
As in right now. He's the kind of guy who'll help you out mid-race, offer fitness advice in a cool-down lap, and still finish behind you with a smile. We don't deserve him.
Keep showing up, Don. Sync your livery, stretch properly, and maybe, just maybe, 2025 is your comeback year. Oh, now that.
Jesus. I think that tops Tyler's roast. That was amazing. Good job, Don.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one.
There he goes again.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. It'll all be on YouTube. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Keep showing up. Oh man.
Oh,
Good
thanks for the
times.
entertainment,
So
Don.
that's our first driver roast of the evening. We've yeah, Don's one of the OGs, part of the original 7 or 8, whatever it was, back in the day of F1 days, and here he is evolved.
Yeah, Don.
The GT3 driver that he is today.
Yeah, Don actually may be credited with kind of kicking off racing and maybe the reason DRL exists. So Don of my close friend group when we started racing was the first one to really get into it with a wheel. I joined him shortly after on controller, and it wasn't long till I was also hooked in on a wheel. So yeah, Don been around since the beginning and got us all addicted to this super fun hobby that we now pretend like we're real life race car drivers in.
surprising that he was the first one. To,
Considering how often he's off track.
You think it would all be the other way around? you think it would all be the other way around? But oh, looks like Dan De La Torre is also exploring the beach. Almost gets clipped there, but manages to stay away.
Those who don't know, Dan lives in the desert, so that's familiar terrain to him. So, not surprising to see him in the sand.
He just wants to go home.
Well, what else is going on in this race? Cameraman is really interested in what Dan's doing, I think because he's a little all over the place. He's being chased down by, is that Fossman?
Spaced out. Canarte is no, alright, let's see. It's Fossman. Let's see it, Fossman. What a battle here. Could be taken to the grass or the beach. Gonna get exciting.
See how these guys make out down into turn one. Don looks like he got a pretty good run out of the final corner. Well, maybe not quite enough. That Aston Martin sure pulls on a straight, I can tell you that.
Canarte is slowly just kind of cruising away. 10 seconds now ahead of Hansen. However, Atherton is kind of catching up to Hansen, and looks like we may see some action up front.
Cooper Atherton, yeah, as you mentioned, right on the bumper of Hansen. So Cooper putting on the pressure. Cooper really wants that P2 to remain, keep it a real close race with Denarty for that championship lead. P3 is just a few extra points lost that he doesn't want. See if he can force Hansen into a mistake. Cooper right in tight there through turn 3, going through the Mercedes arena.
He is on the hunt.
Seen him get a little wide there.
Bentley just pulls.
So fast in the straights, but the McLaren does make it up in the corners. On board with Josh Rodriguez. Chasing down Jay Pesa for P13. So Josh starting at the back of the grid. Not having been in a sim rig much, but working his way through the field.
Looks like Daniil Negetsev is coming up close onto Daniel Hirsch, so looks like a few gaps are being closed, and the rest have kind of found a comfortable spot on track where they want to stay.
Well, right on cue, Sam. Camera flips over to Negasev being chased down by Daniel Hirsch. They make their way down into turn 1.
He must have made the overtake.
Having a look on the inside of turn 2 there, but not enough space to send one in. Pretty high speed corner through 2 and 3. Nagasev's got a little bit of paint damage there on the front and both sides of the car, so maybe a little bumping and banging for Daniil in his race. This battle's not over between these two cars. Daniel Hirsch wants that P6 back.
this point, single mom there, I don't know if Atherton's much of a battle now. It looks like he's about 8/10 behind, and hopefully we can get some action up close again when he closes the gap.
Yeah, we don't take a lot of control of the cameras over here, single mom. We've got a, as you would know, as one of Cooper's bots, we have bots taking care of our camera action on track here. Cameras kind of jump around between closest battles it finds. Our producer seems really interested in this battle between Daniel Hirsch and Negatsev, so we're going to hang out here for a minute as they make their way through the chicane. Oh, Daniel looks to get a little sideways through the second half there, but has a good run into the final corner, fighting some oversteer on exit. It's going to lose him a little bit of a run. Camera has a look now at the back wing of Kyle Hirsch. Checking out that 333 of Don Donovan. Sun's starting to come up here at the Nurburgring. 6:28 a.m. local time.
If you were to do the camera work, you would probably, it would just be a Cooper Atherton stream. It's just speculation, though.
We'll see if the bots were smart. They would actually just get Cooper to stream his races, and then they could watch from Cooper the whole time.
Be a solution. Looks like Don Fossman is right on Dan's Delator. But camera's not switching as Kyle is also in a little bit of a mix-up here. Getting a really, really good look at Kyle Hirsch here. Coming down the straight.
From one Hirsch brother to another. Back to the Negatsev and Daniel Hirsch battle.
Looks like Jay Peja is kind of just walking away in the M class currently.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good lead there over Buggy. Tyler Morgan has pulled his usual early pit stop shenanigans. Try to get that done and out of the way early. But Tyler was involved early. Tyler was not in the net lead when he pitted, so yeah, still a long uphill battle for Tyler, I think. Jay just needs to have a clean race from here on out. Dean Stefani running pretty close to his partner in crime, Darren Wicks, as they make their way up to the final chicane. Oh, Dean has a look down the inside, but not quite enough room. Darren shuts the doors. He turns in for the apex. This will be an interesting run down to turn one between these two. Stefani not quite in touch to make a move at turn one. Or at least I hope. Here we go. Darren Wicks seemingly let his teammate by. Maybe Stefani's got the pace. So Stefani now moves up to P4. As Darren seemingly just looked like he lifted and let him by there on that last straight. So maybe a bit of team orders in play here between these two. See if Dean can go hunting down Cooper Atherton for P3. Although a few seconds up the track to pull that in.
Well, let's see if the pit stops shake anything up. As the window, we've got 15 minutes left.
Let's have a quick look at our positions gained or lost. Not a ton of changes in wins or loses for our drivers. So our biggest winner so far is Josh Rodriguez, who started at the back of the grid, has made his way up to P14. That's 8 places gained. Our biggest loser of the night so far has been Gav Cook, who has had a couple incidents. We saw him run through the beach. He is down 9 spots, down to 21st position. Gav has completed his pit stop though, so that put him a little bit out of position. So he'll be looking to pull some time back with an early stop, maybe some clear track. Hello and welcome, Palinut, also known as Artur Hermani. Sorry to be missing you for the final 2 races, my friend. Can't believe you would throw a championship away like that. Hope you're having a nice time back visiting family. We're right on board with Jay Pesa here, our leading amateur driver. I was wrong. The camera flips over to Gav Cook. Gav, as we mentioned, in P21, coming up to his teammate Dan DeLatour. Dan yet to stop. Likely be some team orders in play here. I'm sure Gavin will be let by so he can keep charging his way through the field. Yeah, things are good here, Pally. Fighting a little bit of sickness. Took some cold medicine before the race, though, so I'm doing okay. I'm sure I'll crash hard later. We got Sam back in the booth this week, too, so that's always a treat.
Such a treat. Done. Two's happening on right now. Everyone is just in their own groove, locked in.
That's the guy that didn't have to pit.
Obviously, most people will perform those.
Yeah.
Once the
Get bent,
window
Chris.
comes closer to an end, just people try and really extend their fuel life. Because surely no need for the tire change, not mandatory. So no need to stop early when you can just run the tank dry almost to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of different strategies available to drivers. So we see some drivers often pit early, opt for clean track, nobody around, try to just hot lap it and make up places that way. And then we have the other end of the spectrum where drivers, as Sam mentioned, will run with heavy fuel and just take a little sip of petrol on the last couple of laps before that pit window closes and hold on to their spot that way. But yeah, with the length of our races, no real need to ever take tires.
Yeah, no doubt. Looks like the Hirsch brothers are going to be coming together on the track. It looks like Kyle's really trying to push to get away from his brother there. He was getting a little bit squirrely out of the corners. Hopefully he can keep his tires in check, because he still does have 15 minutes as he goes off.
Yeah, well, that must mean that something that our producer didn't get was that Daniel Hirsch got around Nagatsev again, so that took that position back, so he's now chasing down brother Kyle. Kyle having a bit of a tough race, started originally in P4, went a little deep into turn 1 there on the opening lap, and has kind of been on a bit of a recovery ever since. So we look at Don Donovan now chasing down the number 3 of Daniil Nagasev.
Which that car has been a little bit beat. That has been through the auction. That has got a lot of paint damage.
Some bumping and banging and possibly some off-track excursions. As we look at the number 333 of Don Donovan, that car looks like it went 4x4ing with the amount of mud on it.
Yeah, definitely has seen the off-road once or twice.
Oh, as we see Kyle Hirsch make a pass. Who is that? Oh, back marker maybe in Zawatsky. Gavin Cook goes around Joshua Rodriguez. Joshua looked to be letting Gavin by, maybe. Joshua said he was going to try his best not to interfere with any championship battles, being his first race back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, Sam, 13 minutes left.
Some more drivers complete their pit stops. Yes, second driver highlight
Yeah, let's get to
of
it.
the evening. All right, well, the camera is already on. The highlight, the second highlight of the night. This time not the black night, it's the white night. Folks, tonight's highlight goes to a man who somehow won a race. We're still not convinced he remembers finishing. It's Joshua, penalty points redemption arc, Rodriguez.
Yeah, Josh snagged a win at the full Nurburgring, but only after the stewards finished playing Jenga with everyone's time penalties. I wouldn't know though, because I got taken out before turn 1, and definitely wouldn't have won. Not bitter, not at all.
Josh is fast, no doubt. Top five pace and quality on most tracks, but holding that position, that's a little trickier. Somewhere between lap 2 and lap 10, the grip just migrates.
And tonight marks his season debut, which means, yes, we have to roast him. He missed the first chunk of the season because he was, get this, moving from Minnesota to North Carolina. Apparently packing boxes was more important than sim racing. Super lame.
Now, if you think he's just a sim guy, think again. Josh races real-world autocross in a red Mazda Miata. It's not actually Lightning McQueen, but it's red enough for small children to yell "ka-chow" at him in parking lots.
And unlike in DRL, it seems he actually finishes and wins some of those real-world races. That's weird, right? Maybe there's something about having a seatbelt that helps with focus.
Look, Josh has got potential. If he could bottle that quality speed and drink it mid-race, he'd be a serious threat every week. But until then, it's a roll of the dice, and we're all watching.
We're glad you're back, Josh. Now go show us that real Lightning McMiata can hang with the big boys. And maybe keep it out of the barriers this time, yeah? Oh, it's good to have J-Rod back.
Second. It is. J-Rod's been with us for quite a few seasons. And, yeah, like it said, he is definitely quick. He can go fast. He just hasn't been in the rig much. It's just been, like Morgan said, moving and real world driving and just living life. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, moving states is a big reason, I guess. We'll give you that one. I'm not sure what takes you to North Carolina, though. What's in North Carolina?
Yeah, that'll forever be a mystery.
Well, back to some other action on track. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
His pit stop worked.
That early pit stop worked. Jay must have run into some trouble himself. We're going to keep a close eye on that battle as the camera switches over to the battle between Don Donovan and Daniil Nagasev. So Nagasev struggling a little bit with the car and maybe pace later on in this race, as he now lost another spot to Donovan, who's made a good charge. Tyler Morgan in the spot he needs to be in.
Sweating.
But he has got Jay for company. Tyler's going to be doing everything he can not to make a mistake here. There's 9 minutes to go, Tyler. Can you hold on?
That's going to be tough. Peja is cooking.
Jay's got some serious pace here. And we all know how well Tyler deals with pressure.
Really well. Looks like he is holding him off though. He's pulling back a little bit of a gap on the straight.
Now obviously we don't know if there's been any incidents on track either, so as cool as it is to see drivers finish the race in a certain position, that's not always the position they remain in once stewards have had a look at any incidents reported. So as long as Tyler's had a clean race, this could be his, but if not, well, we go to our final round next week at Silverstone, where the championship could be decided there.
The AMG sure has some flames shooting up the side coming into turn one there. It's pretty wicked.
We got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left for drivers to complete their mandatory pit stop. Still a handful of drivers at the top of the leaderboard yet to stop. Denarte is not stopped. Kyle Hirsch is not stopped. Daniel Hirsch is not stopped. Nagasev still needs to stop. Don Donovan just pulled into the pits, so that will be his mandatory stop done. The rest of the field has completed their pit stops. Not a lot else happening on track, so we're going to keep a close eye on this battle between these two. This is a fight for the championship in our AM class between Tyler Morgan and Jay Pesa. Drivers make their way through the final chicane into the last corner. See if Jay can get any kind of run here on Tyler. Just to make this battle a little more interesting, Gav Cook comes flying in. Very fast pro driver. Let's see what kind of flavor he adds to this fight.
We'll add something. I don't know if we'll call it flavor. We'll see what happens.
Whoa, as we look at Don Fossman throwing a send in there on Dan De La Torre and almost catching the back of Buggy Watt. Don Fossman showing he's got some spice in that McLaren tonight. As they make their way up to the chicane. Can Don get the car slowed down? He cannot. Almost, and does send it off track. Dan gets by, says thank you very much, I'll take that spot back. Dean Stefani still rides out in front of Darren Wicks. Doesn't seem to be pulling away from his teammate like we thought he might after being let by. All drivers have now completed their mandatory pit stops within the pit window.
The pit window is closing now.
Oh, Tyler Morgan goes deep to the final corner. This surely is going to give Jay a good look and run at him into turn one. Oh, maybe not. A little bigger gap than I thought it would look like on camera. Tyler gets the car slowed down for turn one, but takes a lot of curb there. Is really bouncing that car. I think Tyler's really starting to feel the pressure here of Jay running him down.
In these situations, you just got to make sure that you're only looking forward, because as soon as you start looking in your rear view, you just start slowing down.
Jay's putting on the pressure, trying to force a mistake out of Tyler. Oh, as Jay catches a bit of grass there, running wide, maybe trying to... Oh, real close there. As they make their way through the S here. Make their way around Dunlop curve. Jay runs a little wide on exit. It's going to let Tyler pull away a little bit. Jay now has Gav Cook for company. Gav has caught up to this battle.
Pressure on pressure on pressure. Looks like Jay's dropping off a little bit as he has someone else to worry about now.
Yeah, Jay's got his mirrors full now of that number 69 Aston Martin of Gav Cook. Donovan makes his way past some back markers. His boo was that. Buggy Watt maybe get a little touch in the rear from Dan De La Torre. Not sure if there was contact there or not. I think there was. Have a little quick look.
A little bit of a rear ending that happened.
Quick look at a replay here. I've got one for us. Just a case of Buggy letting the blue flag car by and Dan just not being ready and on the brakes. Oh, as we see Gavin go a huge send on Jay Pesa, but does not get the car slowed down. That's going to let Tyler Morgan pull away from this battle. Jay certainly will be frustrated with that.
RD7 is working hard, and it looks like he's pushing a little too hard, and he is going to be going off into the grass. And like Peja is now catching back up, and Tyler has got to be sweating again.
This could be the final lap. There might be, maybe one more to go. As Denarte is way out front.
Leaders on final lap now.
Denarte starting the final lap now. So these guys will have one more lap to battle it out. Jay's right tight there now with Tyler Morgan. Really wanting this spot here. With this lap plus one more to go, we're going to keep our eyes glued to this battle, see how it shakes out. Just keeping an eye on the leaderboard. Looks like Cooper Atherton did get by Alex Hansen for that spot in P2. Don't have a replay for Hansen there, single mom, so I'm not quite sure what happened on track.
Most likely went off track at his own fault. If there was no contact, there was no replay, so most likely made a self-inflicted mistake.
Sometimes our broadcasting software doesn't pick up everything too, so that could have been missed. Battle still ensues. Jay Pesa is now on his last chance to try to overtake Tyler Morgan for the victory and to keep his championship hopes alive. Gavin Cook's having a real big look down the inside, showing him that he wants to go for a send, but thinks better of it. Oh, congratulations to Thiago Denarte, who has won this race by a cool 30 some odd seconds. Cooper Atherton rounds the final corner to take second position at the Nurburgring Grand Prix.
It's going to be some needed championship points for him. Tyler's doing everything. Oh, Peja gets close there, trying to do everything he can to try and get past Tyler on the final lap.
Great timing by our producer to jump on the rear wing of Tyler Morgan as Pesa has a real close sniff.
Oh, it looks like Tyler's going wide as he feels the pressure.
Jay trying to go around the outside but can't do it. Last opportunity for Jay is going to be into this chicane and the final corner as our cameraman jumps away to Vlad crossing the finish line. Let's go back to this battle. Oh, and Jay runs it down the inside. Oh, makes contact. A bit of door banging.
No way!
As they drag to the start-finish line. Jay takes it. But was that fair? Is that legal? Oh, what are the stewards going to say about that one? Holy smokes, what a finish for our AM class.
I mean,
Jay just said, sorry, Mr. Morgan, this battle's not done. I'm going to lick the stamp and send it.
wow.
Holy smokes, what a finish. Well, we're going to take a quick break here and see who's waiting in the interview room. And yeah, we'll be back in a minute.
So Alex left.
All right, we are back. We had one person in the green room, but they are gone. Got the replay up. We'll just wait a couple minutes to see if anybody joins us for an interview. Well, that was an exciting race, Sam. That I know it turned into a little bit of Tyler and Jay show at the end, but that was a very important championship battle. That had quite an interesting finish.
Yeah, that was that's gonna be looked at for sure, most likely. But I mean, strong finish from both drivers. At least they both managed to keep it on track as they came together and had a little bit of door banging. So we'll see what happens. Brave move by Jay there. So we'll see what ends up happening and who takes the AM win.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta credit a guy for trying. I mean, we'll let the stewards sort that one out and decide if that's a fair move or not. But at the end of the day, these guys are just racing hard. Jay's fighting with everything he had there for that position, and was it a dive? Maybe. I guess we'll wait and see. But great racing nonetheless. Both drivers were able to keep the car on track. That was the important thing. Bit of door banging, but sometimes that's just racing. So. We'll see what comes of it.
We will see. Well, it doesn't look like we may be getting anyone in the green room tonight, so that is okay.
Yes, that is okay with me. I'm feeling obviously a little under the weather, so we get to wrap things up a little early. Okay by me. As always, thanks for joining us tonight, friends. It was another exciting race. We've got one more round to go here in Season 6. Drivers will take to Silverstone to wrap things up. I know, Sam, that's a favorite track of yours, and it should be a good way to finish up our 6th season here in the DRL.
Yeah, no, we're coming up to another wrap up. I don't know how we get to the end of the season so quick, but once again, like always, some close championship point battles. So looking like it's going to be a good finale. Well,
yeah, it should be a good one.
Joining tonight. Thank you for all the follows and the subs and everything else, and the chatters and the Cooper bots. Appreciate you guys all being here, and I hope everyone has a good night. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, folks.